It's strange to think about how many people have existed. Whole lives, whole personalities, entire relationships. And almost none of them gets remembered. Most people just lived, made mistakes, fixed some of them, messed up others, and that was it. No textbook paragraph, no one to judge it centuries later. I hated history class growing up, not because I didn't care about the past. It's that the way it was taught just didn't stick. A textbook, a storyline, names and treaties you memorized like a formula, then forgot the second the test was over. I never understood why I was supposed to care about some guy from 400 years ago. But here's something strange I realized. If a friend calls you right now and tells you an hour of drama from the weekend, who said what, who was fake, who contradicted themselves 3 minutes later, you remember all of it, every detail. You don't even try. So maybe the problem was never history class itself, but how it was taught. If you think about it, history is basically just gossip, just old enough that it turned into fact. And once you see it that way, you can actually use it. Instead of memorizing a day on its own, try telling it like gossip. Because at the core, history is just people being messy. Fragile egos and petty decisions playing out on a bigger stage. Take King Henry VIII. He was married, but his wife hadn't given him a son, and he wanted to marry someone else. So he asked the church for a divorce. The Pope said no, so Henry broke England away from the entire Catholic Church and started his own, just so he could grant himself the divorce nobody else would. An entire country's religion changed because one guy got told no, something that probably happens a lot in our daily lives. Or you can take a look at Hitler. Before the war, or before any of it, he was just a guy trying to get into art school in Vienna and got rejected, twice, partially by a Jewish reviewer on the panel. Historians are clear that's nowhere near the full picture. There were huge political and economic factors too, but that early rejection is often pointed to as one of the threads that fed into the grievance he carried for the rest of his life. A personal grudge that never got resolved, tangled up in one of the darkest chapters in history. And it's not just the big moments. Helen of Troy, a love triangle. This one's so messy, it allegedly started an entire war. Empires that cracked. Not over ideology, the same kind of drama you find in a group chat. But here's the thing, these are all mistakes and choices we remember. The ones big enough or bad enough to survive centuries. For Henry VIII, there were thousands of regular people who also messed up marriages, held on to grudges too long, said something they regretted. We just don't know their names. They didn't get written down, not because they didn't mess up, but because their mess up wasn't big enough to matter to anyone but the people who knew them. We don't write down the quiet years. Nobody remembers what someone ate for breakfast on some random Tuesday a few years ago. Nobody remembers their small arguments, their bad decisions, their forgettable mistakes. Unless it mattered later, unless it changed something on a massive scale. Which honestly, if you think about it, takes some pressure off. Because most of us are never going to start a war or split a country's religion. Our mistakes are the small kind, the kind that don't get written down, the kind that just quietly gets lived through and then get let go. And that's not us failing at life. That's just what being a person has always looked like. So if you actually want history to stick, treat it like people's stories. Grab a friend or just talk out loud to yourself and catch them up on it like it's drama. That's basically the whole method. Falling out with friends, chasing approval, holding on to grudges longer than they should. It's just us, just recorded with fancier politics, laws, and treaties layered on top. But if you go deep, it's just human nature. It's just us, a few centuries back, doing the same things we still do now, at a bigger scale. So live your life, make the mistakes, have the messy years. Most of it won't be remembered by anyone but you. And that's actually kind of a relief. The only mistakes anyone's still talking about centuries later are the really big ones, and yours almost certainly won't be, even if it feels like it. So yeah, just keep gossiping, only about the dead ones.